Well, a very good day to you. I'm trusting that you're well wherever it is that you're watching us from, whether from Europe, some of you watching us from Qatar while watching the World Cup. We wish all your teams the best wishes. Now, Prof, the conversation going around.
Before you say that, where you are watching from, I was looking at our YouTube analytics.
Okay.
And I found that some little support we get from people, some little financial support.
Ah, really?
The leading is from a country I can't even pronounce, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan.
They're watching us from there.
Yeah, and supporting us strongly.
Well, thank you so much. Keep sharing the content with your family members. Perhaps they are abroad. This is the best channel where they can get the political update of what is happening here in the country, here at Herman Manyora on YouTube, and the website is Nairobi Review. Prof, the conversation going round. And before we go to the conversation, how are you doing, Prof?
I'm doing well.
You're good?
Oh,
God is blessing us. It's raining.
Almost good now.
The other day we were just crying of the drought.
Now it is.
Hitting
it's
us.
good. It's good.
Now it's good.
God loves this country. God loves Kenya.
Okay.
Even when your politicians mess,
Okay.
we don't collapse because God loves us greatly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the conversation going round is who is going to inherit or who is going to take over after Raila. So many people are coming out and saying this person should be Kalonzo Musyoka. But the big question for today is who is Kalonzo without Raila? Do you think the milestones that Kalonzo has been able to achieve is because of Raila?
Very difficult question. People ask Prince Charles, now King Charles III. Now, considering that you are an old man and your son is now a big man, why don't you step aside and let Prince William, your son, be the next in line?
A younger person?
Yeah. You know what he said? No, please, let's not go there. There can only be one man at the throne at a time, one person. And you cannot talk about succession because I remember what Prince Charles said. Prince Charles said, this is a sort of thing that comes when somebody is dead. So it's like you are discussing somebody's death. So when you say Raila to be inherited, what exactly do you mean? Are you in your mind, like many other Kenyans, thinking that Raila is too old, or Raila is a young boy?
Okay.
I was watching football with him at the Kamba the other day, and he's more active than most of us. And Shangilia, Senegal. It's a young man. So what is your problem? Don't look at the years.
Okay.
This is a young man. So it cannot be because of old age. What is it that makes you think Raila is going to retire tomorrow? However, we can still speculate.
Okay.
Again, I will point out to you, this is not a monarch where we have an automatic heir to the throne.
Okay.
Not even within Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. There's no guarantee that Gachagua will succeed Ruto. There's no guarantee.
Not at all.
This is politics. How many people were vice president to Moi? They never succeeded him. None of them succeeded Moi. Okay?
Okay.
Uhuru almost made it difficult for Ruto to succeed him. So there's no guarantee that anybody will succeed Raila when that time to succeed comes.
Okay.
Okay? Don't be looking at things in fixed terms. You know, people look at life in fixed terms. You know, life is like fixed. No, life is so dynamic that we know very little of what can happen tomorrow. But the name that comes to surface is Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
And people feel, if you are to bypass Kalonzo Musyoka and you are Raila Odinga, surely you are not a gentleman. The guy has been with you, he has sacrificed a lot. So naturally the name that I was asking Oparanya the other day, and he said, well, Kalonzo is our senior politician, but I too am coming with big numbers from Western. Perhaps I deserve more than Kalonzo. You see, those things will come up. Oh. If Raila would say, no, I'm not, I want us to have somebody else, it will not be guaranteed that it's Kalonzo. Oparanya already feels he has more numbers than Kalonzo, and therefore it should be him. But finally they will agree on something. And they cannot sit here and tell you it will be Kalonzo or Oparanya or Joe. And many of these things have a way of resolving themselves. But when that time comes, I'm not sure when, because I do not share the thinking that it is too late for Raila to be president of this country. Orengo said, Mungu akitaka Raila akuwe president atakuwa Raila. I'm going to almost kill him. But I know life enough to know that you can find Raila your president tomorrow.
Prof, let's come back to the big question for today. Is the political milestones that Kalonzo has been able to make.
Yes.
Are they because of Raila?
No.
They are Kalonzo without Raila.
Let me jog your memory. and in the interest of Kenyans who don't know Kalonzo. In the year 2007, after the no campaign that gave birth, that birthed the Orange Democratic Movement, when that's 205 referendum, it brought together Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, and all these people, William Ruto, and all of them. The first person to bolt, of course, was Uhuru Kenyatta, and he joined Kibaki, supporting his re-election. That left Raila, Kalonzo, Nyaga, Mudavadi, William Ruto, Henry Koskei, and all those people. I want to inform you that the most obvious candidate for president at that time was Kalonzo Musyoka. He was by far ahead of Raila Odinga.
That is 2007? 2007?
Yeah, by far ahead of Raila Odinga. By far.
Okay.
He was the most visible of the ODM luminaries in the fight for the ODM. And then ODM was won. It is the differences between the players that led to the Kalonzo Musyoka ODM Kenya. The ticket was, the certificate was ODM Kenya. Dan Manzo ran away with the certificate and Kalonzo went with it, ODM Kenya. And Raila was forced to form allowed to form another Orange Party. Picking up from what had happened in 1992, when Ford had broken and they had been allowed to have Ford Kenya and Ford Asil. You could not argue against now this one. And then NAC Kenya also had NAC. So there was a precedent already. And that's why Raila was allowed to have his ODM. So I'm just trying to tell you that Kalonzo was not always the weak person people think. He was the most outstanding candidate as they headed to the nominations after the referendum. Of course, Raila then overtook everybody else. And to the surprise of many, he just sprang up and became first among equals. But initially it was Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
Then I also wish to point out to you that after the 2007 election, in which both Kalonzo and Raila lost to Kibaki, lost in courts, because this election, many people, including me, believe Raila won that election. Kalonzo became the vice president. To be vice president is not a small matter. Okay? And if you go back, long before Raila was a serious player in the Kenyan political sphere, at the level of government and party, when in perhaps he was in matters of fighting and agitation in the trenches, in detentions and police cells and what. Kalonzo was a senior member of KANU, rising to become organizing secretary. Kalonzo joined parliament in 1985 and rose to become organizing secretary of KANU, the only party, the most powerful, the only and very powerful party. Kalonzo became minister, various ministries. So he's not a man you can claim has been made by Raila, but it's true that his association with Raila in 2013 and 2017 has risen his stature to beyond what it could have been, that association. And that's why it's bad luck that they didn't win. They would have worked together. Yeah. And that's why many people are convinced that if Raila were to support somebody, then that somebody must be Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
Yes.
If Kalonzo is to run for president 2027, do you think he has the ability to mobilize the numbers, to marshal in numbers, as Raila has always done?
You know, you cannot equate Kalonzo to Raila. Raila is in his own class. Raila is a magnet. Raila is a magician. Raila is a wizard. Raila is an election machine. Those who judge what I'm saying by simply saying he didn't win, I just laugh at them. Because Raila starts with only a handful of votes and then goes fishing around the country from diverse communities and is able to either win or get close to winning. So that kind of person is powerful enough. Kalonzo will do a lot more than he has ever done to get anywhere near that. But a Kalonzo candidacy would not be a solo thing. It will be more of a people put together, effort put together by people to remove Ruto in 2027. And that could get impetus from how things turn out to be. Because there are those who are saying for Ruto is automatic. I saw Watangula saying there will be no opposition to Ruto. That is cheap analysis or cheap way of looking at things. Politics is a game of dynamics. And I keep giving this example. If George Floyd didn't happen, if the boot was not on the black neck, who would have beaten Trump? If Corona didn't happen, who could have beaten Trump? And I'm not even saying he was beaten, but beaten in that sense. Sometimes you can be doing so well, but something happens and you are no longer popular.
The western part of Kenya, Prof, do you think it's going to accept him, Kalonzo Musyoka, to be their leader, the person carrying their flag?
It is possible because the most likely combination is Oparanya and Kalonzo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so if that were the case and Oparanya is on the ticket and Oparanya is a powerful lawyer.
But don't you think it's going to be very difficult because, everyone wants to be the leader. No one wants to be second in command to another person.
But the reality sometimes has to dawn. You may want, but how far are you going? Reality will have to dawn. Supposing Raila is supporting somebody, can you oppose that person Raila is supporting if you are part of the... Because there will be only two sides. Okay, there could be three sides. But certainly there will be the William Ruto side. If you are not on that side, the other side is Raila's side. And the Raila, like you are suggesting, is supporting somebody. Once Raila has supported somebody, would you be mad to try to oppose that person? So it depends. The dynamics. And the dynamics also mean maybe there are not two forces. Supposing the Kikuyus rebel against Ruto and they don't work with Azimio or with Raila, the Kikuyu could produce a formidable candidate. And in this election...
Is that bound to happen?
Yes?
Is that bound to happen?
No, it's possible. It's possible. The Kikuyus were made to believe that their problems were caused by Uhuru. Less than 100 days into Ruto's presidency, they know that is wrong. That's not right. That wasn't true.
They see it's wrong.
And
they take another direction.
They were made to believe, foolishly so I should say, that once Ruto is in office, manna will drop from heaven. All the things they were saying Uhuru had destroyed will be restored to them. So far, there's no evidence that anything has happened. And frighteningly so, there's no evidence that something's about to happen or will ever happen. So, would you be surprised if Kikuyus decided that, well, I think we were wrong. I think we were faulting Kamwana for nothing. And this guy was a nice suitor. He has a sweet mouth. So we followed him. But finally, there is nothing. So what is the way forward for us as Kikuyus? The situation will be so complicated if the Kikuyu were to front somebody with perhaps Raila not in the mix. It will be a 3-4 horse race. There will be no outright winner. No, it can be Ruto, it can be that Kikuyu candidate, it can be the Raila supported candidate, it can be somebody else. There will be like 4 horses in that race if the Kikuyus rebel against Ruto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now as we wrap up the conversation, Prof, and now some people have come out to argue that Kalonzo has been that one person from the Kamba region that he's overshadowed all the other Kamba leaders, that no one else is able to germinate from that region. Would you agree with these people?
I don't want to say he has overshadowed. I just want to say that he's a powerful politician. Is Kalonzo respected by the community? And anybody else who is a pretender to the throne is always in the right time shown the door. The Kamba people will tell you, please, you have tried very hard, but for us, Kalonzo is our leader. That's what has happened to Alfred Mutua.
You can't have a voice in Ukambani
without
Kalonzo by your side.
So far, not yet. Not yet. Kalonzo is the undisputed king of the Kamba. I told Alfred Mutua on a show at NTV, a live show, I told him, no, you are a good chap and you are doing well as a governor. And you can be a future leader. But for now, don't try to convince yourself that you can upstage Kalonzo. Because that's the man the Kamba know. For now. For now. Tomorrow it can be anybody else, including Junior. When I say Junior is strategizing to inherit, he wrote me a text telling Manyora, no, you are wrong. But for now it's Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
In Ukambani. All the way to 2027. Anybody will be pretending. Yes.
In order to have a voice that people can listen to from Ukambani, you have to have Kalonzo by your
It's
side.
Kalonzo. After 2027, things will begin to change, perhaps. But for now, up to 2027, I do not see anybody, including these guys who are rotating around Ruto trying to become this and the other. I don't think they will have enough gravitas to outstage or outsmart Kalonzo between now and 2027.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up the conversation at that. Thank you so much for tuning in here at The Big Question. I've been your host, Simon Irungu, and Professor Herman Manyora always here to help us tackle these big riddles.
And people have
big
been asking me
questions.
whether I can officiate in functions. Yes, I do. If you are having a launch of a product and you want a voice like mine there during the launch,
It's not just a voice,
and you
but a
can take
name.
care of me, I can officiate in your function. Okay, so we can inform people like that. We are not very bad people. We are not very expensive, but we can grace your occasion. Yes.
Just contact us. We'll just work around your budget. But well, till we have the next conversation of The Big Question, enjoy the rest of your day.